Welcome to the Ultimate Majik podcast, and thanks for tuning in. This podcast is brought to you by Galen and Karen. In this podcast, we will be covering exciting topics on career and personal development, mindset, entrepreneur, and marketing. Let's get started.
All right, welcome back to the channel, and today we have an exciting topic to talk about. It's all about job search. Okay, so why is this so exciting? Is because we're going to cover a few things that is essential for your job hunting. Okay, I know that it's very difficult to to secure a job, so that's why we purposely want to prepare this video just to benefit you. And in this video later, I'm going to cover 4 things. One of the things is to identify your goals, okay, to know what type of employment which you prefer, then before you even do your job hunting. Then the second point is to how you can prepare yourself to know yourself better through the assessment tools, etc. And the third thing is, where are the resources you can start your job hunting, okay, be it through events, networking, etc. Okay, and the platform as well. And the last thing we want to cover is, what are you supposed to do before, during, and after the interview so that you can better equip and pitch yourself better in front of your employers. Well, Karen, I do remember last time when during my younger days, right, when I find a job, I always see the newspaper. Then it's quite easy to find. You see, like sometimes I saw the advertisement on the newspaper Straits Times, right? Then I apply. Then maybe 1 or 2 days later, the employer call. But I understand that in today's context, right, it's really difficult nowadays. You see, like sometimes when you send like 100 over resumes to them, right, then you don't receive any calls at all. Yeah. So how do you feel about that?
Totally agree with you, Galen. In fact, a lot of my job seeker, even some like send 100, there's only 1 or 2 come back. So yeah. I really have no idea what they mean. It may be due to their resume issue, or maybe they have not get the correct targets in terms of the job role suitable for him or her and all that. So of course, after that, I got to coach these people. But yeah, I have no idea initially how this person actually sent 100 and got nothing back. Yeah. So it is very true. Like last time, I still remember, yes, like what you said, just look at the newspaper or online, then immediately I can switch job to another one. So I always told my job seeker, I said, especially this pandemic period, right? In fact, a lot of job seeker out there. So it's like the supply more than demand. That's why I always told the job seeker, don't give up, just continue to send. Yeah.
Maybe I should ask you one of the questions that we're going to touch upon in terms of goals. Okay, as you know that when a job seeker, right, when before before he or she want to find a job, do you think having goals is more important? That means like to give them some clarity of what type of jobs they want, etc.
Great question. In fact, having goals is something that the job seeker must do first, because it's like begin with the end in mind. So when you have something in mind that you need to reach, which means that it actually make you focus, like you know what you are heading, what you want, what you intend to get. So it make your resume or even cover letter more concise, focus, and you will definitely get there. Now, a lot of job seekers somehow, every time when I ask them like, so what you intend to get, what job you intend to get, what type of job you intend to get, so they were like, I want this, I probably will want that. I also can do that lah. In the end, it was dragged for quite some time. Let's say today you intend to get a very specific job, for instance, the project management job. So when you have the project management, then you can think of what kind of industry you want to go. Then after you get it, right, then you can start to create the resume like how can I give all the what we call that keywords in order to
keywords.
craft a very strong resume. Yeah, something like that along the line. Because if you like want this, want that, then how do you craft a single resume that is powerful?
Yeah, actually, I agree with that because last time when I coached some job seekers, right, when I asked them, what do you want to do in life, they will often give me saying that, yeah, just give me a job, lor. You know, as long I'm able to work, then I'm perfectly fine. I mean, doesn't matter is far or near. So I always believe that before you even start your job hunting, right, you need to be very clear of what you intend to do first. Then at least you have some idea, oh, maybe I should go into project management or what, or maybe your current skill set is suitable. Then at least you venture into, or maybe let's try to explore this field, you know, to do some research or enhance your skill set just to get prepared before you enter into this industry. Yeah, so that's why having clarity in your goals is very, very important. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. If we look deeper, in fact, like what kind of industry, because not all the industry is suitable for certain people or different profile of job seeker. So industry or the field they want to get into, some people especially, they like to have the Fortune 500 company. I do have a job seeker, they really want to get into this kind of company. Yeah, very interesting. Okay, so that's their aim, which is very, I find it very amusing, but at the same time, very interesting. At least they are very clear on what they want, you see. Now, also, I suggest that the job seeker can think about the salary range must be reasonable. Do some research. See what are the market range, then try to ask for the market range rather.
Yeah. In terms of research, right, what kind of platforms do you normally recommend to job seekers to find at least the benchmarks?
I think any of the job portal, as well as can go for all the yearly survey done by those recruiter, like there is what Michael Page, is it called Michael Page?
Yeah,
Michael Page. Then there is what there is another one, what Walter already. Every year annually they will come out a report with a survey of like this job role, how much they get, and different industry. I think this will be very helpful.
Another platform that I always see last time I use is Glassdoor. And sometimes when you search on job street, right, they will indicate that job role and that salary range. So you roughly gauge, this is the salary I could get, like, you know, if I really have the experience, you know, for this job role.
Interesting. I always go and do searching. I saw the Glassdoor always about the ex-employee comment about the company.
And they will like some of them will criticize all the bad comments.
Yeah, so I'm thinking anyway, just find it funny because I think job seeker may go there initially, really want to join, right? But later
they see the reviews. So that's why I don't know whether should we really trust the review. Sometimes you never know, because sometimes some people, they might take it too personally, right? Then they just anyhow write bad reviews. But the case is it may not be true, you see. But this is what the third party will see. You know, wherever they log into
which is not very good, I think.
Correct.
Give awareness. I would say give awareness to people about how that company is doing.
The culture, everything.
Yes.
Because sometimes I also agree that, let's say before you even find a job, right, you're also very scared, right, whether this company is it good or not, the culture, everything. Right?
Yes.
It's a norm for any Tom, Dick and Harry to go and check it out. Second point, right, which is preparation. Okay, because I understand that before the job seeker go and hunt for a job, it is better to know yourself better. You see, like by doing all those assessment tools, so that you roughly know what your strengths are, know what your weaknesses. Then at least you'll be more equipped and know how to pitch it to the new employer, right? To sell yourself, say how good you are, based on your current strength. Yeah. So maybe you can share with me, right? What are the things that the job seekers can do? Yeah.
I think apart from the Glassdoor we mentioned, right? Job flexibility or working hour for certain type of job seeker profile. Many job seeker, they are the caregiver to aging parents and all that. They really need a very flexible working hour. So I also hope that the employer can be more flexible to have this kind of arrangement, like not only part-time every week work 1-2 days or something, maybe like allow every day work half a day, that kind of arrangement. I mean, in fact, because of this COVID, I realized there are many employers in fact already started this, but things can be much better. I think this can allow all the job seeker to be able to a handful of the new mom where they got newborn baby. So it seems like for them it's actually quite harsh also in order to get a full-time job, because you see infant, right? There's not much infant care in Singapore, I believe. We got a lot of childcare, no doubt, but infant not much, right? So how can all these new mom, right? They can, maybe some company may have childcare nearby that have subsidies to help out all this. Let's talk about the type of employment. I think for the goals, right? Job seeker also must understand about the type of employment they can really afford. I mean, a lot, of course, they wanted a full-time, but talk about the new mom, how can they take the full-time? Even the caregiver is the same thing. So how can we help on this?
Yeah, but of course, there are some subsidies, for the, those newborn babies as well, to help out the parents. But I would say that in long run, the parents itself seem to find a way of how to sustain.
Yeah, that's true. I think whether employer or employee have to learn how to adjust themselves, adopt to all these changes. Recently, I got one very cute job seeker. He called and he was very open. He said, I don't want to work full-time. I also don't want to work part-time. I just want to work the casual one.
Casual meaning what?
Casual means like the per hour, how much?
Oh, okay. Oh, it's like a king at that.
Because he used to work like full-time on something. So these are the mindset shift that's what I see. Because today the career landscape is really changed. Even though there are still many people want to find full-time, but you have to understand the sustainability of the business also due to the COVID. So a lot of time, all these give and take probably just take on some part-time, move on first before the things got better, right?
Yes.
So
in fact, I would absolutely agree, because when you want to switch or what, right? Or maybe you want to find a new job, think of survival first. Most important, sustainability. Then after that, you go inside, then you slowly get the salary come in. Then you slowly try to see whether you want to explore different things, or earn some income.
Yes, correct. I mean, even if let's say for those who got lesser commitment, I mean, they can just get whatever necessary to have the earning first, can use the earning to do some online learning, online studying, or take on government-funded courses to really start to build another career. There are a lot of career, like for instance, I always mention IT, even this pandemic, like pharmaceutical, not really impacted. These are the continuously, industry.
Very high demand.
Yes. So my advice is for the job seeker, you have to learn how to see all this, able to see, anticipate, okay, what industry may be in demand, so they can actually go and read out article and all that to find out, do some research. Actually, in terms of sustainability, is after all, it's not that challenging lah. You just have to learn how to develop another path for yourself rather than waiting or blaming.
Okay, so thanks for letting me know on the first part of the goals. And maybe next point I want to touch upon the preparation. Okay, so Karen, in terms of preparation, right, in your own opinion, what kind of preparation that these job seekers can do before they even want to start their job hunting?
I think the very first one that I would like to touch on is about the self-assessment, because I noticed many job seekers, when you ask, so you want to switch your career, so what you intend to switch, or maybe so you're out of job now, what kind of job you intend to go to or venture to. So they were always like, this one can, that one cannot, this and that. But then many times they kind of lost because they cannot identify the better you utilize their talent. In fact, everyone, we do have talent, but how do you find out this talent? It will be possible by doing all sort of self-assessment that you can find, because out there are a lot of self-assessment. Of course, we got to be more concerned on those vocational, like your job preference, that kind, but at the same time, the one must be very clear of their personality, because there are a lot of great tools like MBTI, Big Five, especially these two. I would strongly recommend, because Big Five can if you really do all these questions carefully, it can really tell whether you are introvert, extrovert, even though it is about 5 personality of the individual, but very, very accurate. And MBTI also is another one. Online, there are so many information. So when the individual do realize their potential and all that, they can use this personality. They can craft their resume that suits them or really integrate with their personality. Writing resume is not the flat way of writing. You have to write a resume that can integrate. The resume got to represent you. So when the employer call you for interview, when you talk, it is exactly like what you written in the resume. You get what I mean? Some of the job seeker they also ask, can I get somebody to help me to write? Then I was like, okay. How? Yeah, I mean, job seekers don't even understand themselves. So how can you get someone to write for you? I just don't understand.
Strongly agree that. Yeah, because sometimes when you really want to apply for a job, right, the employer want to know what is your personality, in terms of your attitude, your character. Then at least they were able to assess whether your personality is able to fit inside their culture. So that's why I do agree with you that if you ask somebody to write for you, right, it will become very flat. Yeah, this is not you, and occasionally, sometimes when I always during my days in coaching, some of the job seekers may also use one standard resume, and send across to every employer, without customizing. So it's as a disadvantage if you do it this way. So I would prefer that really understand your own personality first, then at least you able to write, okay, this is me, I'm so and so, I have a lot of experience in this. Then at least when you write in personality, right, the employer can sense one. I would see.
Maybe next time we can make some videos that dive deep into how to write a good resume. So far, I mean, blessing. I have helped diverse profile. I guide them and coach them to write a resume that really they can resonate deep in their heart. So imagine when you go and do the interview, in fact, it's like a show. When you go to interview, you got to perform at your best. Now, if you got a resume that is not you, so it will tell the employer a lot about you. First thing, who write this resume for you?
Yes.
You don't even have to say, people can feel it. For instance, maybe somebody who write and say you are very good in customer service, but somehow you are the introvert that don't like to talk, right?
Yes.
So now you are performing, then you keep quiet. So
correct. Contradicting about what you write and what you speak.
Yes, exactly. That's right. Yeah. For the preparation, when somebody who already set the goal very clear, like I mentioned earlier, cover letter and resume is much easier to craft. Let me give you one example. I do have job seekers. Sometimes they say, I want to do admin, but then I also want to do IT. Okay. So you see these two have a very, very different skill set. So if he don't make up the mind, right, which direction your resume you want to write, craft for these two very extreme one, how can it be possible, right?
And speaking of that, right, let's say, for example, I think during the last video, we do talk about transferable skills, you remember? Let's say, for example, if the job seeker, he want to venture into this new industry, he can even put in the current skill set, right? Like after doing the assessment tool, he know that this is a strength. Maybe his strength is in admin, but he want to go into this IT industry. Then he can put in like how his current admin skill set can value add in this IT environment. Which is very good.
Yeah, that is possible, definitely, provided if their goal is very clear. If their goal is not clear, it's quite
challenging. Agree. Okay, let's proceed to the third point, which we will talk about application. Okay, so let's say, for example, this job seeker, he or she is very clear about his goals or her goals. Then he or she has done all the assessment. They know their strengths, their weaknesses. Okay, so now they are going to job hunt. They're going to apply. Okay, maybe in your own opinions, what kind of resources they can try out?
Job application, there are so many ways. There are, in fact, usually for the job seeker, we will split into two. One is rank and file, another one is PMAT. So in fact, for rank and file, there are a website called Fast Job, Telegrams channel and all that. There are a lot of job related telegrams out there. So for those who do not know or never use Telegram, I would encourage you to use the Telegram. I do saw a lot of channel down there. Now, so apart from that, for the PMatch, right, definitely they can tag on the online job portals like JobsDB, JobStreet, LinkedIn, Indeed. There are so many. Even Google also got Google Jobs. There are a few agencies which is under the government initiative and tripartite institution. They do have a job fair or career fair where you can do, now mostly are virtual, which you can do a speed interview, very speedy one, meaning somebody will interview you straight away, then next. Okay.
Wow.
And
is it
also
like speed dating like that?
Yes. But this one is speed interview.
Speed interview, okay. Or speed dating.
Speed dating type of interview. So
all virtual one. In the
all
virtual
virtual one. And also there is a virtual job fair, meaning that there will be a company said, oh, we have this opening, anyone just send in your resume to here. There's also a lot of events or workshop that teaches job seeker how to go for interview, how to negotiate salary. Very good. They should go and find out.
Those job interview preparation kind of workshops so that they'll be more equipped to understand how to even pitch themselves within that first 30 seconds and all these things.
Yes, correct. That is right. Yeah. Okay. So apart from the online job portal, I think the job seeker also can consider networking. Networking not only talking about you network with the stranger, you social with your friends and all that is also considered within your network. Or maybe you can simply get a job from the LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a social networking, right? So LinkedIn
Totally
got a
love
lot of, yeah, I also love it because apply jobs in LinkedIn is really very easy, super easy. So apart from there, you probably have the connections with the ex-boss or what, can just chat with your ex-boss. Government initiative, as I mentioned, those events also consist of the networking session as well. And then can get from the community, let's say you are very active in certain community, you might want to check any opening for you or the type of job. Relative as well, because your relative also working, right? So they might have heard about some opening at their area or in the office.
Actually I agree. Besides using those available platforms, right, that you can try, like online platform, JobStreet, JobsDB,
Yes.
whatever. Sometimes I also feel that if you really have a very good network, right, you are at an advantage because it's much easier to really introduce some jobs that maybe your current peers are currently doing. It's much easier to get in, I would say, or maybe shortlisted. And sometimes you never know, right? Sometimes maybe your friends that side, they really need a position, and just nice your experience is able to fit in because maybe their requirements are not so stringent, you see. But as compared to really go all out and just send 100 resume out, so I would believe that job seekers shouldn't put everything into one basket. They should go and explore different channels like networking here, apply jobs here, send some LinkedIn, everything. Try whatever platform, multiple platforms, so that at least one down, right, anyone will come in. You see, like one will be available for you, you know. Sometimes you wouldn't know, like maybe you just give a ask, right? Then you say, yeah, I'm looking for this position. Maybe you can just send me a resume. You see how fast is this? Like just by asking.
Agree with you because you see, sometimes I just wondering, how come people sometimes will think they are stuck. There are so many chances out there. The problem is, how do you reach the chance? The opening is there. How do you get there? Definitely you have to make some shift at your end. Maybe like for some worker, you hardly touch on, let's say, computer or what. You might want to like just improve this part, and then you can actually reach that door, right? So I don't see it's a difficult thing to do. You get what I mean? Each of us, we already have our own experience somehow, like 10, 20 years. You just need this very minor brush out or polish on yourself. Then you can reach there already.
I agree with that. Sometimes those chances or they are actually in front of you. They are everywhere. But you never really notice it or become aware, or maybe want to try it. But who knows, maybe you really take the first step to ask, to try, to network, to apply whatever. Then maybe the chances is become better, right? Then at least, having 1% of a chance better than nothing, right? So sometimes they may think that I'm not good enough to network, or maybe I don't dare to try. But if you really ask yourself, if you don't try, who knows that because of you trying this first move, right, you're able to secure a job. then don't you think it's very worth it to make this little first move? Like be it learning computer or whatever, or maybe just ask, hey, I heard you, hey, got any new position available? Maybe, because my strength is admin, I'm very good in admin. I can do tele sales, I can do customer service. Hey, your side need or not? You see, just by little ask, you say, oh yeah, maybe yes, I do. Then you see, you just ask, right? You secure a job already. Yeah, but on top of that, of course, you still need to apply somewhere else. That's why I say, just make this little first move, right? And turn it into a miracle. Then you can get a job easily.
So I hope the audience actually know about the applications. In fact, there are a lot of sources out there, a lot of way you can apply the job, and rightfully the applications inputs is helpful. So then we got to talk about the last one, which is the interview, right? So Galen, based on your past experience, your work experience, do you prepare anything before, during, or after your interview?
Wow, definitely, man. Let me share with you my story.
Sure.
Let's say for the past few years, right? Let's say I apply the first job, whatever. What I do is I will do a lot of research, okay? Because I know that there are some typical questions that employers will ask. Okay, like for example, tell me about yourself. Okay, what do you see yourself in 5 years' time? Okay, why should I hire you? You see all these typical questions, right? So of course you have to prepare to answer, to know how to pitch it, like not the way to brag, but is to answer truthfully and also you need to do a lot of research to understand what is this company about. Okay, what type of service they are doing, what types of initiative they are doing. Then at least when you go to the interview, right, before the interview starts, you are actually prepare yourself. You do a lot of homework. Okay, so this is speaking from experience, because for me, before I even go to that battlefield, right, I already understand the company very well. I would know that this company do this, do that, what is the mission, vision, everything. So that when I go to the battlefield on the day, the interview part, right, I just able to sell myself. I will say, I understand this company is doing very good initiative, here and there. Then, I would say based on my current skill set, I'm able to value add to your new organization. You see, so this is the before stage of the preparation to research what are the companies that you are like for example, let's say for example you really lucky to secure interview, right? Do just spend 1 day or maybe half a day, right? Do a thorough research. Okay, read up their website.
Is it all the possible interview questions?
Possible. Yeah, possible, because I always believe that these are the typical kind of questions that they will ask now.
Do you believe that tell me about yourself is very difficult to answer?
Actually, if you ask me, if you really not experienced, right, you will tend to deviate. You will just tell truthfully about yourself. In fact, like some of the maybe job seeker that I heard of, right, they just tell very brutally honest. Too honest. Then they will say that, I have a pet, I have a dog, I like to do yoga, I like to
personal thing.
Yes, very personal, which is not the employer one. Actually, what employer mean? Tell me about yourself, meaning that how your past experience or current experience, right? What do you do for years?
Yeah.
Okay. Then after, what type of achievement you have made in your current or maybe your past position can help to value add to this new organization. This is called tell me about yourself. Instead of telling what I have, no, I'm very hardworking. I like to play soccer, everything. Employer don't want to know all this. This is too personal already. Yeah. So that's why a lot of job seekers, they will misunderstood this phrase. Tell me about yourself. Yeah. What about you?
I just find this very challenging. In fact, I ever I was once, I think in 2019, I went to a class talking about the career related. So I actually, because they said, okay, what are the questions that is challenging? So I actually put, tell me about yourself. But somehow the whole class denied. They don't agree to what I said.
Really?
I find that this question is very challenging. A lot of people.
Yeah, it's very challenging, you know.
Yes, this is the hardest. In fact, I did my homework. I always go and figure out what is the reason of these questions behind what could be the required answer and all that. Because last time I screw up many times. So lesson learned. But I'm quite surprised that 2019, which is quite recent, there are still many people don't think this is a very challenging questions. I think all the job seekers, they should have prepared some commonly asked questions, especially tell me about yourself. The job seeker, they can actually go to YouTube or what, they just type in this particular question. There are so many people teaching talking
about it.
Yes, how to answer, how to tackle this kind of questions. So if it is still not significant, not important, then it wouldn't appear so many times, right?
Well, Karen, actually I 100% agree with you. In fact, let's say for the past years, right, when I'm being shortlisted for interview, right, I always prep myself by going to YouTube and type this question, tell me about yourself. And in fact, I see tons of answers over there, and it's very, very effective because at least it gives me some sense of how do I even prep myself, to answer this question, rather I go to ask anyone, you see. So there are a lot of variations, but of course you can choose the best. So I probably always use YouTube as a teacher for me to answer whatever question I want to find out. Like for example, tell me about yourself. What do you see yourself in 5 years' time? And also, why should I hire you? So all these are very common, typical questions that employers will ask. So I would strongly recommend, right, before you go for interview, go to this YouTube, type in this question and listen to really understand how could you answer this type of questions. Then at least when you go to the battlefield, you'll be more equipped.
Agree. Yes, correct. So what about during the interview? During the interview, do you have any inputs for the viewer about how they should perform?
I would say during the interview, you need to be confident, okay? Because your employer is the one who's going to see you, right, on that day. So what you say, how you pitch yourself, right, is very, very important. Because if they see you have a very good attitude, good character, good personality, and also confident about yourself, right, then at least they be more willing to give you a chance, you see. Because if you show all your weaknesses out, right, like although you don't like to speak and you just be introvert and keep to yourself, or maybe mumble a few words, then your employers won't be interested to hire you. So when I last time go to for the actual interview, I always try to think, how can I sell myself better? Like for example, what kind of current experience I have, the skill set that I can value add to this new job role. Okay, it doesn't matter whether you don't have the new skill set that they require, but you show some initiative. Like for example, what is your daily things that you do? Like maybe you can say, during my past time, I have read up some books about this. okay, about this, or maybe I do up some past projects and build up my portfolio. I like to watch educational video to learn about how to do this, or maybe like for example, how to increase my productivity, how to get creative in sharing my ideas. Although I'm an introvert, I'm still able to learn this. Yeah, because as an employer, you must understand this. They want to see how you talk, okay, whether you are a very coachable person, because as you know that skills and experience can be learned, but attitude cannot. Attitude is your inbuilt. How you present yourself, it takes years to really build the attitude. But skills, experience, even though you're zero, right? If your attitude is good, your character is good, the employer will still want you. This is the fact. Yeah.
Be authentic lah, I think.
Yes, be authentic, I would say.
Everyone have different type of attitude. So what kind of attitude the employer look for is also quite subjective. Of course, regardless what industry, most of the time they would look for somebody who is authentic, honest, got integrity. I think these two is very important. And then you just be yourself and then just speak accordingly, because sometimes human connection is quite different.
Yes.
Maybe the interviewer who interview you just feel like not connected. Then regardless how authentic you are, you just don't have the connections, you see. So quite subjective lah.
Yes,
just be yourself lah.
Yes. And also I agree with you, because sometimes when you present yourself during the interview, right, like the way you talk, the employer will see whether your personality is able to gel into their culture. This is one of the key points that I observe. Yeah, because let's say the way you present yourself is like, don't heck care everything, then, or maybe you too particular about certain things, too picky about your choices. From the way you speak, right, the employer will know easily. Although they won't tell you, but what you speak, you portray yourself, right, they're really running back in mind that, this fella may not be suitable, because I think this is how they talk. So that's why, as I always say, when you at a battlefield, right, you're actually 50% chance there already. So the next 50% is how you sell yourself during the interview, which is very crucial. Yeah.
Galen, I have to ask you, are you a gamer? Because you always said battlefield. You play games?
I do play. Yeah, I do play mobile games. So I always, like to link everything into like battlefield. It's
I mean, it's true. Even in IT, I always like crack a jokes internally. I just connect all the very cartoon thing to like maybe make myself a day, like amuse myself and all that. I think we should do that. I kind of totally agree with you, because like what you brought up, right? Even if the employer sometimes may ask you certain question purposely to test you, or what if we relocate you? What if we need you to like travel here and there throughout the day to do the support, let's say. So if you say, I can consider can consider, people already know you are willing. Yes.
Yes, that's it.
So it's a no, means that you are not, employer may think or may perceive you as not that flexible, regardless what is your reason behind. But I think all this, yes, it is authentic, but you still have to be very clear,
mindful, clear.
Yes, mindful, and you must be very clear whether you like this job or not. If you don't like this job, then you say whatever, it doesn't matter, because in the end you won't get, right? What you say is correct, is to be mindful if this is really the job you love. Otherwise,
so usually I will encourage job seekers to say, let's say you really like this job, right, just tell them straight away, yes or no. There's no in between. Don't consider, yes or no. If you are not willing to travel, or what, right? Just tell them straight away no. Then at least both parties is easier, right? Like rather than I hide here, you hide here, then in the end, no point, yeah.
Even with the word maybe or in between, right? Like what you said, maybe or
not confident, yeah.
Yes, you may perceive as not confident or undecisive. So undecisive when, let's say, your position is a managerial. So if managerial, you're so undecisive, how can you be a manager? How can you be a leader, right?
Precisely.
Okay, so these are the things that have to be mindful. Very good, very good. So lastly, right?
Yes.
So we need to talk about the after. Let me start first now.
Okay.
Go ahead. After interview, a lot of people to follow up. Personally, I don't really. Even the job that I like, because I just find like sometimes you purposely write in and purposely write in to follow up. Of course, to some people, they may say, "Oh, this is a very positive one." But I believe like Western culture maybe is a norm, but Asian culture kind of different perception because people may thought like you're desperate. That's my own analogy. So normally, I wouldn't follow up regardless, even though I know some people said that if you follow up, you might stand a chance. But personally, my own analogy, I think like I already performed during the interview. I already give you my resume. If I follow up, then I must be desperate. So, but if I don't follow up, you already see me, you already talk to me, isn't it enough? But then it's quite subjective depend on individual. If I also have a lot of job seeker, they would want to follow up. Another very critical reason, but that's all the time my approach is I will not try to have a second impact on myself. For instance, if I follow up, if I gonna rejected, regardless, it will internally impact me a bit in terms of the confidence. So usually I will not let all this not a good news to impact me. So I rather wait. To me, this is like my own well-being. I just don't want to keep on follow up, keep on hearing no. So no, all my the confidence level, self-esteem, I do have a pre-max that came to me to find job. But the more he analyzed, I see the more drop in his confidence level and self-esteem. I don't know whether you agree or not, Galen. If you got any impact on your self-confidence and self-esteem, is it easy to bring it up again? It's quite difficult, isn't it?
Actually, I have how to say a different way of countering this. I would say, because last time, many years back, when I applied some positions, right? Over the years, I learned this lesson. Sometimes when you place too high hope on certain things, then when, let's say for example, you like this job, then you always very confident, feel very high hope on this, that you really perform very well. Suddenly, they don't want to accept you. Then you will set back, boom. You see? So I learned this lesson along the way. My approach, but you can choose not to follow me, is remain as status quo. That means you be calm. That means you just treat as a normal interview, and you telling yourself you have done your best. Don't set expectation too high and get those major setbacks. What if the fella or maybe the employer rejected me? Or I'm not shortlisted. Am I feeling very useless in the interview? Why do I not able to perform well? So you see, all these things I learned along the way. And after years, I realized that whenever I go to any interview, I always have a very neutral mind. That means I know that I have done my best, I pitch my strength, everything. I provide value. But ultimately, if really the luck is not there, don't be disappointed. Move on. Because sometimes it's a blessing in disguise. That job may not be suitable for you, or maybe you are not suitable for a job. Maybe other job that is better than this job. You will never know. So this is the lesson I learned throughout the years. Last time I always set very high expectation. I say, I thought I performed very well while I sell myself, but I waited for 1 week, 2 weeks, no call. Means reject already, no? So that's why I always feel that I shouldn't be placing too high hope on this. Just neutral mind, apply the job, go for interview. That's it. Your job is done. If you want to write a thank you email, go ahead. Doesn't matter. Then at least you move on to find another new roles. Like don't always depend on this job. Then you stop hunting for other jobs already because you pin too high hope on this, which is totally wrong. Don't do that. Find other thing that is, of course, you should have a second choice, third choice, or fourth choice, right? So this is my greatest advice, I would say.
In life, I tried my very best. I don't give up easily, so I will keep on trying. But one thing I learned from life lesson is your internal pride and your own self must protect 100%. Then nothing will conquer you, nothing will beat you down. When the job seeker came to me, I will just tell them, no point waiting. When they said, how come 1 week still no reply, 2 weeks still no reply, even like 1 day, or even somebody call and say, no lah, your salary too high, we cannot take you. You wait lah, no lah. 1,001 thing. So they will come to me quite discouraged and said, how, Karen, how? Then I say, just move on. Move on, see who comes first, right? Because sometimes you see, we are not designated to some position, means like what you said, it may be a good thing, you see. Maybe that's your dream job, but dream job don't want you. What else you want? Move on lah.
It's like don't give up the whole forest just because of one tree. See, don't give up the whole forest. There are plenty of opportunities right there waiting for you. So that's why if you pin too high hope on this position, then you will suffer a major setback. Then you feel very demoralized and don't want to apply again. So you see, so this is very crucial.
Correct. You can think a lot of reasons. Maybe there are someone better than you. Or maybe you can think, they already shortlisted, I'm just not the best. Or maybe somebody got certification I don't have. You can think a lot of reasons why you don't have, then after that you go and achieve that. You get what I mean? Because you are from the industry, you definitely know what you are lacking. Don't tell me you don't know what you are lacking, then jala already. You cannot find a job.
and in fact, let's say if you really not shortlisted by this employer, right? Sometimes it doesn't mean you are no good. It's just that certain things that what they want you don't have. That's all. Like for example, it's a very subjective of how they think because you don't know. You see, like you don't know how they think. Why? I thought I present very well. No, I never screw up or what. I pitched nicely, I never brag. But why they didn't shortlist me? I'm sure there's a reason, but of course
maybe no connection. No connection also one thing.
Also a way.
It may not be connection. Your performance.
No frequency. So it do plays a part in terms of. So don't be
discouraged.
Too discouraged about all these things. Move on, find another one. I hope one day you will find one. Definitely.
Correct. Just don't think and don't bother how people see you because for those who discourage, a lot of time this is also equivalent to you actually very mind how people judge you or think about
Yes,
you.
yes.
So you should drop all these unnecessary things that will hurt your internal pride. Because when your pride being hurt, it's very hard. You got to get some motivator, very good in motivation, like Karen. Come to me, I give you a rise on
Motivational.
yes, motivational activity or whatsoever. Yeah, not easy. So remember to protect your own self. Yeah, don't look at all these things, just drop it. You just tell yourself that there are someone that probably perform better than you, even more qualified than you, then just move on and keep on applying. Because one more thing, why you must keep on applying, because when you keep on applying, you will get all the phone call coming in. So you will suddenly, wow, somebody calling me means that I'm really good. But what if you just stop there and never do? You won't get all these surprises and motivational factor, right?
The more you apply, the more chances you get. Very simple as that. If you stop doing all these things, you cannot expect there's a call coming suddenly, right? You have to really apply.
Because you don't take action, you see.
Yes, precisely. Yeah.
Lastly, what do you think for the feedback? Because some of the professionals, so-called, they will say, oh, go and ask for feedback, this and that. What is your view?
Actually, I have never tried this, how to say it, but I do heard about this, but I've never tried in my life.
I also heard a lot about this, but sorry to say viewer, this is about my thinking, not apply to you. For me, it is a bit of nonsense. They got 100 people they interview. Do you even think they remember you? This is a question you have to ask yourself. If the answer is yes, then the feedback is valid. If the answer is no, so many. Everyone perform. Every interview is 1 hour. 100 of them. Huh?
Yes.
You go and ask for feedback. Okay. So you are letting other people to really impact your internal again, because first thing, they might not know you. Second, they will just use the normal slogans. I think you are not suitable, that's why you are not selected.
Correct,
so what's the point to get all these negative remarks from the feedback? Just leave it, move on, that's it. So you don't ask, you are not creating any negative feedback. You ask already, it impact you negatively. So don't. Just move on. Do you feel good after you receive feedback? If the answer is no, don't bother. Move on.
Yeah, correct. Don't over complicate things where you can just leave it like this, smoothly. Just after the interview, that's it. Your job is done. Just wait. Don't have, you move on.
Just do and proceed. Go and look for somebody who appreciate you as an employee. That's all.
Alright, we have come to the end of today's video about job search topic, and I hope you all have benefited from this video, at least to have some clarity of these 4 points that we illustrated earlier. Alright, in the next video, we'll be sharing what are the common mistakes made by job seekers during the interview, and rightfully, this video can help you to land on your dream job. Well, that's all for now. We will see you in our next video. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, we have come to the end of today's topic, and we hope you enjoy this podcast. In the future, we will making more of these topics just to benefit you. So stay tuned for our next episode. See you soon.